Chapter 1. Laying on a drool-soaked pillow, William Gamble peeked out between eyelashes at an unfamiliar dark wall, wishing he had $10 for every time he woke up in a strange room with no memory of the night before. He couldn't help but to grin through the migraine. With that kind of money, he might be able to retire, providing he didn't lose it all at the poker table. Gamble the gambler. With palms pressing both temples, he let out a groan of anticipation to the day to come. His head hurt, but not in the usual way. This was an ache more akin to the kind following a midnight brawl between forehead and a cold concrete floor. Unfortunately, it was a pain he was all too familiar with. Without rolling over or sitting up, he took a quick survey of the dark room. His breath held in expectation of where he was, and then fell out in a rush when he realized he wasn't in a jail cell. No way his parole officer would go up to bat for him a third time. Sitting up in his old dusty cot, William Gamble noticed the striking similarities between his pilfered abode and his childhood bedroom. It was larger than some, smaller than most, and even the decor was strikingly similar. A quaint desk beside his bed, covered in enough dust to resurface the moon, a disgusting plush chair in the far left corner, a shade darker than mucus green, chunks of debris all over the floor, which, under his bare feet, felt like deteriorating particle board. Testing his balance, he stood with a hand buried in the dust of the nightstand. He felt drunk as his wobbly legs precariously balanced his weight. It wasn't like he was an alcoholic. He only ever drank in excess when the booze were free. Judging his own current physical state, he sure felt like he had stumbled into an open vat of rum the night before. He felt like Cubert trying to walk a straight line to the door on the far side of the room. Last night, he struggled to remember, must have been one of those times when he sat at the roulette table, betting on an equal split between red and black. Usually, the casino would cut him off before his second round of complimentary drink, but sometimes he could play all night before they caught on. At any rate, he needed to find a light switch. The moonlight flooding in from the only 2 windows was easy on his migraine, but did nothing to reveal the secrets the dark room held. His eyes did him no good in the twilight, and he knew that they had long since adjusted all they were going to adjust. It was dark. He needed to make that fact go away. Fumbling a hand over the wall around the door, he cringed over the sticky texture. He was in a log cabin, he now knew, and the walls felt like they were covered in sap. His task had been disgusting and a waste of time, and no light switch. Walking a few steps to peek out the window to the right of the front door, he pulled apart the thin, tattered curtain. Caressing the stubble on his chin, he wondered if he had ever seen such an ominous sight in all his life. High in the sky, dominating the starless night, was a brilliant full moon bleeding its glow through a canopy of orange fog. Hiding just behind the creeping mist was a woodline, thick and dead. Each tree put up a tangle of twisted branches to intertwine with hundreds of others, like fingers of the long dead. They reached up in desperation to touch the taunting moon. Each tree begging to be taken away to the beautiful heavens so that they might forever leave behind their eerie graves.
The door won't budge,
Came a woman's voice from the corner shadow a few feet from where he stood. William's heart sprang up and jump-kicked his ribcage, sending him scattering back in fear, cursing in ways that would force his mother to drop a hand from heaven to smack the back of his head. He failed to keep his footing and landed hard. As hard as he hit, he half expected to burst through the brittle floor.
"Who's there?"
he asked, feeling like an idiot from his damsel in distress response.
I mean, who's there? As in, what's your name? And why did you try to scare the fudge out of me?